invented a new puzzle.
Oh, tell us all about it.
Cool.
Rather unexpected. Somebody else did all the work. Um, I came up with the idea um, and implemented it in an app where it looks much simpler than than this does, but it's it's a very difficult twisty puzzle. It's a new take on an old puzzle called the loop over puzzle, and this one is called Quantum Loop Over. I didn't even name it. It was named by the AI that I used to to vibe code my app, and I told it, "You pick a name," and that's what it came up with. But it seems kind of fitting because it's highly it's highly entangled. Um, so we'll see if anybody likes it. I don't know. It was just a just a kind of a nice surprise, and then I got hooked up with this designer who's really good at making puzzles. He knocked it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It looks like it's already gone to manufacturing, or is that a prototype you're showing
Yeah,
us?
no, he this is a prototype. He 3D printed it, and uh, then he uses some kind of technique to get rid of all the the layer lines and stuff. He like puts it in a kind of an oven with acetone vapor or something like that. So it's just sort of lightly dissolves all the surfaces, and then it it dries up looking like it was injection molded or something. But and you can kind of see some of the yeah, there you go. You see those kind of honeycomb thing along the surface of where it was 3D printed. But yeah, it's pretty professional. So
How and what was the turnaround from start to finish?
it was just like a month or something.
Incredible.
I don't
My
know. I
God.
mean, really quick, and I had very little to do with it. Um, we did call in another person in the hypercubing community who's better with the math, and um, he helped us with a couple of points of design. But really, it was just this one guy just kind of did it all on his own from the specs.
Incredible. Well, congratulations, and let us know what happens next. Are you going to have it mass produced like your last puzzle?
I'm certainly not going to push this one. He's got his own sort of online site. I imagine that he wants to just produce and sell them. I don't even care if I get a cut or not. It's just all a nice surprise, and I doubt there's any sort of money um, that's that I can ever hope to get from it. So I don't really care. I'm just pleased to have been able to do that with such little effort.
That's really exciting. And would you say that you used AI to assist you in developing this concept?
No, the let me get the link so people can follow that. Okay, where's chat? So here's the link to the app. So I used AI to implement the app. The idea for how it should work is pretty straightforward. As you just drag rows and columns around in the app, you can see how
Oh, I see.
scrambled up it gets and stuff. Um, so topologically, the puzzle is operates on a torus. So wrapping it around a donut shape like this is allows it do the to operate the same way,
I
but
see.
in the three-dimensional world.
Well, thanks for sharing. That's really exciting.
Sure, I'm
That
glad you like
is,
it. I mean, I don't know that I would call it exciting, but it's fun.
it's impressive. It's very impressive. Well, thank you, Melinda. Um, I'm going to go ahead and
So
yes,
basically, just another announcement.
yes, sir.
People have probably heard this before, but I keep updating the Midjourney cats. So it's a downloadable PDF, midjourneycats.com. Feel free to browse. If you enjoy it, fine. If not, it's free. So
And that link is in the chat. And yeah, Herb, this one is difficult not to enjoy. I don't think you'll get too many protests. These are just too adorable. I do wish you would do a half-width side-by-side YouTube slideshow, but that's your prerogative, of course.
maybe someday.
And you have been updating this PDF, right? This isn't
Yeah,
a
I mean,
static document.
this was last updated about a week ago.
Yeah.
So I
So
update it about every 2 weeks.
so download it and keep checking for updates. Yeah, it's a substantial document now. What do you have? 50 pages. That's a lot of cats. Thanks, Herb. Hi, Peter. All right. Let's see, a few announcements. Phyllis is not able to attend tonight, and Tor is not able to attend tonight. We will see some of Tor's photography. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see if what comes up here. Oh, it worked. Okay. So the live streams are running and the screen share is on. I think we all know what to do with these links and with the screen share. One quick announcement, just a reminder, the Solano Stroll is Sunday, September 14th in the cities of Albany and Berkeley. And it's all set up. I did a dry run this weekend and drop by if you can. And that's all I have to say about it. The other announcement is that we did the Andrew J. Russell presentation at the Oakland Museum of California. That was on the 22nd, I think, of August. It was well received. I went a little long, you know, I do that. Tor accompanied me. He helped me set up, and he took a few photos that he entered in tonight's slideshow. So we'll be able to see some of the more interesting things that happened there. And they did ask us to do a public show, date to be determined, sometime in 2026. It was a very receptive audience. I don't know, about 30 or 40 people were there. But I'll let Tor's photos speak for themselves. And that said, let's take a look at the first photo in tonight's slideshow. And it is by Tor. And the title of this one, which I should have in front of me, is Oakland Museum of California Lightbox. And Tor wasn't able to make it tonight, but I can tell you that what we're seeing here is following the slideshow. The museum did set out for display some of the original glass plate negatives that we had restored for the slideshow. These are the physical glass negatives. And this is well, I don't know who this is, but they set up, I don't know, maybe a dozen or so on various light boxes, and it was a real thrill. Tor may be watching later on the recorded YouTube stream. Does anyone have any feedback for him? we will see a close-up of one of these glass plates later in the slideshow. All right, well, that's probably enough talking for me for a while. Let's move on to one by Steve. And the title is Vincent Life Mask. Steve, take it away.
So recently attended the Hollywood Museum, and which is on Hollywood Boulevard at Hollywood, the corner of Hollywood and Highland. It's actually a really cool museum, not to be confused with the one that was just opened by the Motion Picture Academy. Big budget, but this is a really cool, funky little in the old Max Factor studio, and they have lots of remnants of Max Factor there as part of the museum. But in the basement, they have kind of their den of horrors, which is my favorite section. And they have the actual life masks made from uh, several of the horror actors. I photographed cha-chas of Boris Karloff and Vincent Price. Of course, Vincent Price seemed like the obvious choice for showing, a 3D life mask.
And why would this life mask have been made or cast?
Probably for makeup. So, because so they can design prosthetics if they're going to do something. I can't remember in the House of Wax, is he one of the ones who got melted?
Yeah, he was
So
affected.
they probably made a wax version of his face by pouring it into the form and then melted that. But unlike like a digital scan, this is actually a material that it either touched his face or it touched the thing that touched his face. Because I think they made a mold and then they poured stuff into the mold. But it was made contact with Vincent Price's face. I'll have another picture. I think I have another picture from the museum tonight and then another one next week.
I guess if we showed the pseudo, then it would be like a mask. It wouldn't be the convex mask. It could be a
like
concave
the
mask
busts
they
at
could put
the
over
Haunted
his
Mansion.
face. Right, exactly. Well, thanks, Steve.
All right.
Roberto.
Hi, good night.
Hello and welcome. And coming up next is Quato Lives.
That's right. Well, I don't know if you know, but Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, was filmed here in Mexico City. So this is an exhibition that is held in one of the stations that Arnold Schwarzenegger filmed the film, because now it's 36 years old. And I was crossing by and I found this 3D Quattro Leaves graffiti that was floating in front of this art. Well, this is an exhibition of all the art pieces for the art, like the prototype, the style that is going to be on the film, and it was a really interesting, and I like it the way this graffiti looks in 3D. I don't know if you know that Total Recall. Well, actually both the subway and all the first part of the film was filmed in Mexico City, and the second was filmed in the studio here in Mexico City. That's it's named Studios Churubusco.
Yeah, I like both versions. I didn't know that they were filmed in Mexico. That's great. I like a lot of the architecture that they chose.
Yes, actually, the subway was pretty brand new when it was filmed, and I believe they took advantage of that because all the most characteristic film part was the subway part, because all the part that where he was running away from the capture after the recall it was filmed in Mexico City subway, and also I believe there's a huge open area that was filmed around these billboards, and it's also a major landmark here in Mexico City.
Nice. Now that we have self-driving cars, I hope we get to see Johnny cabs before too long.
Well, we have Teslas.
I've had that conversation with several people recently, and this
So
is
hard to
such a
be
classic
original.
film. Yeah.
Oh my God, that smells so good.
Welcome, Will. So, Roberto, what are we seeing here? Is the graffiti, the text, is this on a pane of glass or something? Is that how we're getting the stereo effect?
That's right. It's like an acrylic, and they painted. Well, I believe it's a vinyl. It was cut in vinyl, and then place it on this acrylic, and then in the back of the stand, it's printed of the art that it was going to be used on the film.
Yeah, great subject. Thanks, Roberto.
Yes.
One of my favorite films, and maybe it's just a matter of time before we get a conversion of the original. Was the remake released in 3D? Does anyone know?
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
Not that I know.
Well, we'll have to do some research and find out. Thank you, Roberto.
Thank you.
Now, Bob Bloomberg is not here yet, but we can discuss his, well, I don't know if I can pronounce this, Wagon Engine After Dark. Wagon Engine After Dark. Wagon Engine, I presume, is the location of this. What I know about this is that this stereo photo, as well as Bob's other entries tonight, are all cha-chas. Bob will probably be joining us a little bit later, so we'll come back to this one. But before we move on, does anyone have any comments about it? We'll hear from Bob when he arrives. It is a nice night shot. Until then, Oleg, you're up next. The title is Zizi at the produce aisle in a Chilean Walmart.
Yeah, Zizi is the lady on the left in the red coat. She's my cousin. So I was staying with her at her place a couple of months ago. And the Walmarts look just like the Walmarts here.
I love how you got views all the way to the back. Looks huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I like pictures like this.
Is this a cha-cha?
Pardon me?
Is this a cha-cha?
No.
Okay.
It's with my 7-inch separation regular cameras.
Wide angle though, right?
Yeah, this is wedding. 10 millimeter.
So it sounded like you said you were there recently. This looks like a Christmas decoration. So when was this?
It was around Christmas, yeah.
Okay, so
It's almost a year ago now.
yeah, well, not quite a year, but yeah, could have been it. Yeah, actually, I think Dick's Christmas decorations are right around the corner.
It's already Halloween. Oleg, I like the action in this photo. Everyone is intent on performing some activity. There's an employee stocking the produce. Your cousin is weighing the produce. There are people browsing the produce.
Well, it's a matter of, I generally shoot with a tripod. I don't remember if I use a tripod here, but I wait until people arrange themselves in the places I want them.
Yeah, really nice.
I like that you make a very prominent use of the red and green throughout the picture, which of course are the Christmas colors. I keep thinking, what would it be like if you cropped the guy at the far left? It's already we lose a little bit of his left arm, and
Yeah, well, if I would put my cousin at too far out of the picture, I wanted her to be sort of the start of the picture.
yeah, I mean there are things you can do, but yeah, it starts to run into all kinds of problems. Um, just covering up with my, I do think it improves the picture if he's not in it.
Wouldn't have it.
It's just, just a thought.
All right, thank you, Oleg. Very nice. Melinda, you're up next. Coming up is Sunset Serenade.
Yeah, so this was just on another sunset walk down near the waterfront where you've seen all those other strange pictures that I've taken. This was a little bit around the corner from there. There's sort of a large parking lot where I think a lot of RV owners sleep. They're probably not supposed to sleep there, but looks like there's a little community of RV people that come and go there. And I'm guessing that uh, he's part of that community. And he just had himself set up here on one of the lawns, playing his synthesizer for the sunset. Very typical kind of thing you can see around there. I don't know why. I don't know why, but the sunsets sort of draw everybody, all kinds of people and activities and stuff like that. So this guy was just very happily playing away and was happy enough to let me take a picture.
Oh, he's got a great expression too.
Yeah, I think he wanted to talk. I wasn't really in the mood at the time, but he was very happy to share.
Is this close to the Golden Gate Park?
Yeah, you can see the Golden Gate Bridge very easily from here.
Okay,
It's Chrissy Field,
okay.
area. And I think that part of the waterfront is called the Golden Gate Promenade, something Promenade. But it's near the marina, which is in the Marina District.
Okay.
Definitely go down there at sunset. It's you get very interesting, colorful people.
Well, Melinda, it draws you also because we
Yeah.
enjoy so many of your sunset stereo photos.
Yeah, and I'm just as weird as any of them, so it's not like I can claim any high ground or something. It's just a natural magnet for quirky, creative folks. Yeah, it's
And you're likely
and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place too.
Yeah, you're likely the only person with a stereo camera I'm sure.
I do not think I've ever seen another stereo camera around there, or come to think of it, maybe anywhere. You know, this is a pretty small community.
Indeed. Yeah. Add this to your portrait collection, Melinda. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here's one by me. The title is Live Oak Park, which is in Berkeley. And I don't have too much to say about this. It's a bit prosaic for me. I think it's a fine photo. I actually had just parked next to the spot and thought there might be an opportunity to play with the depth in a composition here. And that's all.
Well, you did a really good job. It's an excellent photo.
Oh, thank you.
I really like the way you used the tree on the right. You cropped right down the middle of the tree, and it gives a nice sort of border, so the eye doesn't try to get out that way, and I think it helps.
Oh,
It
thank
helps
you.
people to explore the real interesting stuff.
Which camera did you use?
This would be my Sony pair, my RX02s, and it's a bit hyper. I'm going to say the cameras were 3 or 4 inches apart. Not terribly hyper.
If this was my picture, I would have cheated and the person in the white clothes put him or her in the middle instead of walking out of the sight line.
Yeah, I wonder if I should just delete that person, just paint her out. What's also missing is that the person in white is walking a dog, which is actually what I was trying to capture, but my shutter finger was too slow.
I mean, you can't tell that it's a dog, so I think if you just removed her, that would be enough.
Probably I could, yeah.
And then you could turn up the saturation of the red coat to really draw the eye.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I probably should do that regardless of whether or not I remove the person in white.
I kind of like it the way it is. But I have a question. You said you were experimenting with depth. Did you try different distances between the lenses?
You know, I really didn't. I just kind of eyeballed it for this one. I had my cameras with me because I was going to another event, which turned out to be a dud photographically. But I already had the cameras out and set up when I passed this scene. So I didn't really spend a lot of time here. Maybe less than a minute.
Well, you got to get out there, and you never know if it's going to be a dud, but at least you're out there trying.
I was at Golden Gate Park weekend before last. Came back with no photos, but I did catch the Paul McCartney photography exhibit at the museum there. So at least I got that out of it.
Was that worth visiting?
I think it is, yeah. I actually owned the book, so I was pretty familiar with the photography, but it's a pretty lightweight exhibit. It's a fun afternoon.
I think they're making a series about his solo or his post Beatles work.
Oh,
I read that I don't remember if it's Apple or Amazon is going to do like a 4-part series.
maybe Apple. They've done so many Beatles projects these past few years with Get Back.
The last one was on Disney Plus. Or
Disney-
the session was on
Disney,
Disney
that's
Plus,
what
but
I'm
I don't remember. Anyway, that's easy enough to look up.
Yeah, you're right. It is Disney. There's so many, it's easy to get confused. All right. Well, that's Live Oak Park. Let's hear from Jay. And this is Locomotive Engineer. Jay, take it away.
Yep. Same shoe as the last locomotive picture. Also Lume Pad. Yeah, just the most interesting angle of him. Yeah, didn't really do too much to this.
What camera did you use? Because the dynamic range is really nice because you have
Yeah, the Lume Pad,
okay.
Lume 2. Yeah.
And the Lume Pad 2 has a pretty reasonable stereo bass, would you say, Jay?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know offhand, but I think it's like 60.
I'm going to measure it right now. It's about...
Yes, but the dynamic range is great. The shadows and the highlights are really well controlled.
Yeah, it's about 32 millimeters, or about an inch and a half.
The rear camera?
The rear camera, yeah. I think that's comparable to the X-Real Beam Pro. It's I was curious because this shows a lot of depth for that camera.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jay, would you consider cropping out the woman at the far right of the composition?
I think I tried, and it was getting a bit too cramped on him.
I can see that. Like Oleg's cousin.
Yeah, I like it. This picture the way it is. Just enough bright stuff. If you cut it off, it'll. I don't think it'll be as good.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Jay. Very nice. A lot of human interest in this one. Now I don't... Oh, Ed is here. Hello, Ed. Welcome. Coming up next is Pepper.
Oh, hi. Is my microphone working? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
This was. I hope you can hear me. I did some pictures last time with this method where you put a slide under the microscope and take a picture, and then lift one end of the slide slightly and take another picture, and that gives you the stereo pair. And I had a picture of last time of sugar crystal and salt crystals, so I decided to stick with the theme, and this is a ground black pepper.
Yeah, looks astronomical.
It's kind of otherworldly in a way, I guess.
Yeah, it really is.
And all of it is pepper?
It's
because you got 3 different colors.
Yeah, it has the dark black. I have no explanation at all. I just shook it out of the thing. I put it on the glue, and ground black pepper. It's a seed, so maybe the internal parts of the seed have different, material. I don't know.
Makes sense.
That's what it was. It's like you put stuff on. You get like a quarter of an inch blotch on the slide, but there's like thousands of little specks, and you just move it around until I see a little grouping that looks attractive. I don't really know what any of these things are.
And Ed, you do that all in the microscope, right? You've got the ground pepper on a glass slide, and then you just bump it around under the microscope until you find a composition that you like.
It's a drop of glue to keep it from, just, to hold it all in place.
So when you
and then
tilt
this was, I think it was about 25 frames stacked for each left and right, because it wouldn't never be all in focus. So I had to take a stack, from down through the image, about 25 or 30 frames. I don't remember exactly, and then merge them.
And that's how you get it all in focus.
That's with the software. Yeah.
Incredible.
Have you ever tried using water instead of glue? Because water is can be very pretty by itself, but it might dry out too fast. I don't know.
I was kind of trying to find some things like algae or something. Sometimes can be but I decided to stick with the kitchen kitchen materials because they were handy and I didn't have to go looking for them. I just grabbed them off the shelf, off the spice rack, and try to see what they look like. I was mainly just trying to experiment or practice with that method of getting the images and the stereo effect from the lifting the slide, and the pepper just happened to be handy.
Yeah, I was just suggesting that maybe you try using water instead of glue. Just a drop of water might be enough to hold a bunch of pepper in place, and it might make it a lot more colorful. I don't know.
I'm gonna try that when I find some water borne material. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a whole different subject, but I was thinking even for pepper, it might really enhance it. I don't really know.
I could try.
Well, yeah, keep experimenting, Ed. Keep pulling stuff off the shelf because these are fascinating and unexpected.
Yeah, unexpected.
I'm really fascinated with the lighting. I'm assuming you just lit it normally. It has an iridescent look. Is that just one of the properties of the black pepper? Is it just like the light kind of coming around the fringes or something?
It's called a dark field. There's this little black disc that covers the center of the lamp, so that the center of the image is actually dark, and the light is coming from around the edges.
Are we looking into the light?
The light is blocked from behind. So the light is coming from 360 degrees around outside of the field of view.
So the light is sort of behind us, behind the viewer, behind the microscope.
But if you picture how a microscope where the light is shining up through the sample into your eyes, it's the same thing, except there's a little disc covering the center of the light.
Right. Well, that was my first guess. We're looking in.
So, according to Stack Exchange, dark field lighting is often used for lighting glass or other transparent and highly reflective objects, and it excels at highlighting edges, which I think we see here. Yeah, these are all very clearly defined.
It's actually a 19th century lighting effect of microscope.
Yeah, let me put a link in the chat. A bit of information about dark field lighting in photography. Although in this case, you're using it in microphotography.
Yeah, that's the only context I'm familiar with.
Well, keep these coming, Ed. We definitely want to see more. And when you run out of things in the kitchen, there's a whole microscopic world waiting for you, I know.
Yeah.
I think I may have mentioned the Leica microphotography of Jack Musacco, a legacy member who passed away. Let me see if I can pull some together and send those to you. You might be interested in them.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
This next photo is by Tor. The title is Oakland Museum of California Negative. And this is Pong Pong, the curator of this collection, holding up one of the glass plate negatives for Tor. And for those of us here who retouched the high-resolution scans of these glass plates for the Andrew J. Russell slideshow that we presented to the museum, and that we've done a half a dozen or more times before that, I want to point out two things that I learned. One, you'll notice that honeycomb style crazing on the glass. And we encountered that on some of the photos that we retouched. I learned that that kind of damage happened right away, probably while the emulsion was drying in the darkroom. And that actually, once the chemicals have dried, they're very stable. So most of the damage that we fixed was damage that happened at the time the photo was made or at the time the photo was developed. And I had assumed that that kind of damage happened as it was stored and just sort of decayed, degraded over the years, but not the case. The other thing I'll point out is you'll see there's like some yellow, it's paint at the top of the glass slide. And one restoration that we made, we replaced a lot of the skies with gradients. And I learned that skies were deliberately painted out for this collection and generally in stereophotography because the aesthetic at the time was to have overexposed skies. So even if the sky was exposed correctly and you could see clouds and details, they'd still paint it white because that was the aesthetic, that was the expectation. And I wanted to share those two facts with the retouchers here in this group. And if you have any comments about this excellent stereo photo that Tor made, I'm sure he'd love to hear them too. And I think this is a photo that we did retouch. It's one of the cuttings. You can kind of see the rail, the tracks there.
This was from the what era? The year of the negative.
So this is a glass plate negative. It was taken in 1868. It's a photo of from a series of the construction of the transcontinental railroad that connected the east and west coasts in the U.S. Andrew J. Russell was the photographer who documented it for the railroad, one of the railroads. And several years ago, 6-7 years ago now, I think, we acquired a collection of high-resolution scans from the Oakland Museum of California. They curate these, and we retouched them, and we shared them with the world.
Nice.
One of the things I like about this photo is the lighting, in that, you know, we're looking into the light box, but the lighting is very, very natural, very well controlled on her arm. The other thing that I like is kind of the surreal quality of, you know, we're looking at a black and white, we're sort of looking into the past, and that area that's lit by the light table is kind of representing the past because it's in black and white. She's wearing white gloves, and the image is black and white, and it's framed exactly by that. I just found that so interesting because her, you know, I first looked at it, go, well, why is her arm? I mean, part of it's because it's obscured by the light, but I think she's wearing, of course, she's wearing white gloves. So it has that kind of surreal quality, or a quality of yesterday and today.
Yeah, good point.
And are we going to see any of these restorations in a meeting?
Well, let's see. How can we get these in front of Roberto? We just presented these at a live event, an in-person event in July. It was about a month and a half ago now, and we'll take it on the road again. We did do a online version during the pandemic. Well, Roberto, let me think of some ways to get this slideshow to you. I don't have a recorded slideshow. Usually I make some comments, but we can at least get
Matt,
the slides.
does the club have an archive?
An archive of the slideshow?
Of anything? Because, you know, you can get the various, you know, Dropbox or Google will give you a certain amount of space for free.
Oh, sure.
That you can store stuff.
We definitely can make the slideshow available. What we just don't have is like a recording of one of our presentations.
Okay.
But Roberto, I think you would be very interested in these photos, and I'll figure out a way to point you to them.
Yeah, maybe we see a couple of interesting, because it's interesting to see something that old that I don't know.
and in stereo, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you'd be really fascinated.
Yes.
Yeah, well, let me put that on my to-do list here, and I'll get those to you.
Thank you.
All right. And it is amazing to think that this is the actual physical thing that went in the camera, that Russell handled, or maybe an assistant handled in the dark room. It's the original source. All right. Well, thank you, Tor. Steve, you're up next. Junk Store is the title.
So this is also in LA, actually in Burbank. Just taking a walk and looking in. I don't know that there's much to say about it. It's a cha-cha with my my Samsung Galaxy, and just a lot of junk.
I thought it says Trump, but it's Triumph, the
Yeah, I
motorcycle
look at
brand.
the sign and I think, oh, it says Trump. I think it says Triumph.
Yes, the motorcycle, yes.
That's funny. I thought it was Trump too.
Well, I think we all have Trump on the brain lately, which is exactly what he wants. Damn it.
That's right. Well, you've got a nice through the window effect with that that peg holding the life preserver.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Like that.
Yeah, lots to look at here.
Good when they have a lot of stuff hanging. Oh, I think this was next to the Beverly Cinema. I went to the Beverly. I don't know if you know, but it's owned by Quentin Tarantino, and he only allows film prints to be shown. And I've never been against digital. I'm fine with a nice 35 millimeter print. I just went to see a bunch of cartoons, and it was a terrible experience because they were all splicey and scratchy. Exactly what I hate. Give me digital any day. Quentin, you're a good filmmaker, but get off of that.
Old prints.
I mean, half the time they were getting to the punchline at the end of the cartoon, and it would just chop off and say, "That's all, folks." It's not the way you want it.
It's easy to forget how bad we had things before these 4K restorations.
One of my students in the film school at Cal Arts, he had a great quote that I always tell people, that if it's not scratched, how do you know it's film?
I occasionally see somebody will take some digital and they'll throw in little scratches and little white dots to make it look like it's film. I hate that. You know, they work so hard to try and get rid of those things, and then people are putting them in deliberately.
Adding noise.
It's a nostalgic thing.
They can't make up their minds.
Yeah, and they usually really overdo it too with those scratch filters. It's like, what, did you march across this film? What on earth could have happened?
Yeah, well, it made sense when Orson Welles did it for the newsreel footage for Citizen Kane, but everybody else, no, don't do that.
Well, the funny thing is I used to work at a post facility, and one of the digital artists, he had like maybe 10 different pieces of software, and all they were was like film damage and film effects and scratch and like dirt. And he would just like throw them onto these digital shots. I go, dude, what are you doing that for? And he goes, well, the client wanted it. And they go, well, they don't want everyone to know it's digital. Everyone knows it's digital. So why are you bothered?
Yeah, these are the times we live in.
So, what you teach at Cal Arts? Is Philip? Who is it? Who's?
Yeah, I used to teach at Cal Arts.
Me too.
Yeah. When was that?
A long time ago.
Like 80s?
In the 80s, yeah.
Oh, you never went to the film cage?
I pretty much just stayed in my little cubby. I was teaching an introduction to computer graphics.
Were you part of the experimental animation program?
Perhaps? I was.
You might know my wife.
Yeah.
Paula Schreiber.
You know what? The name doesn't jump out at me, but sounds vaguely familiar.
Well, I kind of remember your name.
We'll have to take this offline.
We'll take this offline and talk about it later.
I couldn't hear you. I was talking.
Well, we'll continue.
I recognize your name, but I go, it can't be the same Steve Siegel. It must be a different guy.
I don't know.
I think it's the one and only.
Steve Siegel is what?
Well, I remember there was a Steve Siegel in the film school for a time.
Yeah, that would be me. I mean, there's a real story about how I got that job, but I'll tell it some other time.
Yeah. Well, you can stick around and you can share that after the slideshow. I want to hear that too, Steve. You may have told me
Okay.
already, but
All right.
well, thank you, Steve, for Junk Store. Roberto,
Yeah.
Roberto, you're up next with Good Morning Mexico City.
Yes. Well, this is this. I took this on Sunday. I took the gondola to go to this. Well, I don't know if you remember the this big park that we have in Mexico City, Chapultepec, and I was going to a museum all the way up to the park, and I took this. It was a really nice sunrise, and I thought it was going to be a really good 3D shot. This is part of the Mexico City public transportation system, so this is a really cheap ride. It costs only 7 pesos, like uh, three, and I don't know, like in dollars, it could be like almost half a dollar, like 50 cents.
Were you the only passenger in this car?
Yes, because it was really early in the morning on Sunday, and also it was the marathon was happening in the city, so all the city was closed because cars couldn't go up and down. So the city was pretty much desert because you couldn't go out. And I took the ride, and it was alone. I was alone on the gondola.
How high is that?
Well, it depends. It go ups and down. Maybe this was like, I don't know, 20 meters on the, like, I don't know, 20 meters in feet. It could be like,
It's about
I don't, I don't
80,
know,
90 feet, maybe.
maybe, maybe, I don't know. Yes, yes, 20 meters, like, it's like the the height of the gondola. Maybe more because in some parts you are crossing some gaps of the terrain, so you are higher, even higher of the in some parts. But I the exact height I don't recall it.
It is a bit in front of the window. Roberto, do you mind if I try to do a horizontal adjustment?
Sure.
Let me see if I can do this without blowing anything up. I think. Let's see.
Yes, I used the RXOs, and so maybe it was a little bit the distance between cameras were a little bit dramatic.
So I adjusted the screen share version.
Yes, I believe it looks
I think it's a
better.
little bit more comfortable to view. Let me do it to the
Yes.
others. I'm not being too precise here, but I think it'll be effective. Oh, I did something bad here. Looks like I broke the Twitch stream trying to fix this. Let me see if I can get that back.
There it is.
All right. Well, I think I've done enough damage here, but thank you, Roberto.
Sure.
Oh, I see what I did. Okay. Let me make an adjustment here. Bear with me for just one moment. There we go. All right. Thank you, Roberto. I'm going to move on.
Thank you.
This next photo is by Bob Bloomberg, who, Bob, are you here? No, he hasn't made it. He might be out for Labor Day or something like that, for all I know. The title is Girl with Pentagon Portal, Mall of America, Minneapolis. I've definitely seen stereo photos of this optical illusion, whatever it is, the Pentagon portal, but I've never really seen it in context of its scale to a person.
Yeah, there was a photo of this either in the Cascade exhibition or the PSA annual 3D exhibition, but I didn't know the context of it either. But
That's
if you look
right.
in the catalogs, you'll see it.
Yeah, they're called infinity mirrors. It got really popular in the last year or so. It's these are mirrors that you can see through, and they're lit on the inside along the edges, which you see outlined in black. And they're pretty spectacular, you know, as you move a camera around it, and should work really well in stereo as well. But this is, of course, somebody else's art. The installation, of course, is all very carefully set up, and probably was the case for the other exhibition you saw. It's hard to, you know, give the proper credit to both to the artist and to the stereographer, but when they bring something special to it, then it's fine in my book. In this case, it's the little girl looking into it that's the addition.
Well, Melinda, I have one coming up, and I think that your comments apply to it as well. So I'll be curious to hear your thoughts on it. We have a ways to go before it, but yeah, that's very insightful. Melinda, do you know how this illusion works? How this installation creates?
Yeah, well,
this effect?
that's what I tried to explain. So this is just a dodecahedron made out of mirrors, but the mirrors are semi-transparent, and most of the light is on the inside. So everything that you see is only from inside, and of course you get the Hall of Mirrors effect as it goes off into infinity. So yeah, it's 12 mirrors all facing inward, semi-transparent, and then lit by, you know, like fluorescent lights or a string of LEDs along the edges.
You've probably seen simple versions of it, like just a circle of light, and then you can see it goes down a tunnel, and it's just reflecting against the glass that's in the front. You're looking through a piece of glass, and then there's a circle of light, and then another, and then a reflection of that, and a reflection of that. It's just yeah, it's like looking a mirror behind your head. It just repeats and repeats and repeats to infinity.
Yeah, just search for infinity mirror and look for images. You'll see lots of these.
I know I've got a photo somewhere of there was one in a hotel, and it was just a circle, and I put my head in front of it and took a selfie.
Yes, actually, this exhibition was here in Mexico City about a year ago, but I didn't have my 3D camera with me, so oops.
Well, it's not moving, so you could probably take a cha-cha.
Yeah, I didn't know the technique at that time, so
That's what we're here for.
yeah, learning some new techniques.
Has this installation been exhibited in the Bay Area? Has anyone in the Bay Area seen this here? I'd love to experience this myself.
I think there's something like it, not this complicated, but at the Exploratorium.
Sure.
I think they have a simple version.
Seems right up their alley. Well, thank you, Bob. If you're watching this on the recorded YouTube stream, if not, well, we enjoyed it.
Yeah, Bob liked the colors.
Yeah, nice colors. Oleg, we have one by you coming up next. Welcome to the Hamilton School is the title.
Yeah, welcome in English and in Spanish. I don't know. I sort of like the colors, blue, green, and yellow, and waited for that lady to come by.
And it looks like she dressed to match that that mural she's crossing. Did you adjust these colors?
No, that was just luck.
Wow.
Yeah, the colors have an interesting quality. It reminds me of a cartoon. You know how they paint animated cartoons, or at least in the 30s and 40s, with flat areas of color, and especially that blue building in the background. You've got a very even lighting, and it gives it that sort of cartoony quality. And also the sign has a kind of a cartoony feeling to it. I don't know if it's the font or probably just the colors that they chose to use.
I like to have a clean separation, near, middle, and far. And this is the Hamilton School, sort of the subject, and it's in the middle. Anyway, that's the way I composed it.
Yeah, it's nice having this entryway with the glass planes to look through. And I'm just now noticing a figure in the background, silhouetted.
Yeah.
At the end of a corridor.
Yeah, that's also lucky.
Yeah, that's a nice reward when exploring this scene.
The decisive moment used to be called.
The decisive moment.
Cartier-Bresson.
Yeah, I think we discussed that.
But that's what I shoot for.
I'll put that link in the chat. And one last thing I will say about this photo is that it holds up really well as an anaglyph. Not that anyone's interested in that, but these greens and yellows hold up really well. All right, I just put that in the chat. The decisive moment. Thank you, Oleg, for sharing that. All right. Oh, next in the slideshow is one by me. And Melinda, this is, oh no, I'm sorry. The next one is by Melinda. Shattered Window is the title.
Yeah, so this was just something I found the other day. I was downtown, I think on maybe 5th Street near Market, and came across this window that had been shattered, but was holding together. And it was really kind of striking because it's difficult to see in this picture, but it's kind of concave, um, as if like a person had been thrown against the window or something, and it got pressed in several inches, um, and it was making all kinds of crazy reflections and stuff. So obviously, I just had to take a picture.
I can see that concave effect very clearly on the Lume Pad. And that really does contribute to the depth. Yeah, how interesting.
Yeah, it's probably also creating this sort of staggered appearance in all the different reflections. They're all slightly different than their neighbors. But,
Have you held a theme of reflections in a meeting in a Zoom? Because it could be interesting to see reflections as.
Oh yeah, we've done reflections before. We've always had good results too.
Okay.
Sounds
to
like
know.
we're going to have.
Yeah, Matt, you've done a whole series of reflections, haven't you?
I have, yeah. And in fact, it seems like, I'm going to write this down, for 2026, maybe we need to have a reflections special. Revive that one.
Nice.
2026 is right around the corner, if you can believe it.
Yeah, let's reflect on that for a moment.
All right, let me put this in my to-do notes here. All right. Good suggestion, Roberto. I think that's going to happen. Yeah, it's a great effect. Thank you, Melinda.
Hmm?
Yeah. Now, Melinda, this is the photo of mine that I was describing because this is also another artist's work. The beaded curtain is the artwork. It's untitled, although it's often listed as golden, by Felix Gonzalez Torres from 1995. I photographed this at the SF MoMA. And yeah, it's someone else's work, but I thought I could get away with it since someone is interacting with it also. And I'm curious about your opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously my take as well. It's either you are capturing a moment, you aren't just taking a picture of the thing just sitting there. And it's tough to judge these. You have to always separate what the credit that belongs to the artist and the credit that belongs to the photographer, and not try to be wowed by the fact that the art is amazing. I mean, it's not that impressive a thing to find a nice piece of art. So the people shouldn't get too much credit for that. But if you do something with it, especially if you find a really nice moment or something, and that's the focus of the image, then for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. The question is, as Melinda was just mentioning, even when you're just taking a picture of a sculpture, you are choosing the angle and often deciding, like positioning yourself so the shadows and the lights look just right. So even then, you might have a valid consideration that, oh, you've done something. I mean, you're documenting something. It's a three-dimensional sculpture. You take a three-dimensional picture, but it's a flat medium. You're going from a three-dimensional, an actual sphere, a physical medium to a flat medium. So I think you have to take it on a case-by-case basis. I'm saying that because I think I have some coming up.
Well, and sometimes if you take your camera with you to a museum, you just can't resist shooting the artwork. Incidentally, let's see, do I have it handy? No, I'll bring that up later. For those who have seen the documentary Anselm, a 3D documentary about the artist, his work is here also. I'll show some examples of that a little later. But first, Jay, we've got one by you coming up next. This is a conversion, and the title is TKTS Stones. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I should have come up with a title. It's by the ticket booth in Times Square. I think this is actually like Persian Square, the statue. I'm not sure. Anyway, didn't have time to take out my Lume Pad, so it was just a cell phone pic. I saw the people in the t-shirt walking by and this couple posing for another photographer. Ended up cropping in, and I used Ren Depth, the free program for doing the conversion.
Red Depth. I've never heard of that
one. Yeah, we had the guy who wrote it on the New York show. I'll put the link in the chat.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Does not work good on an old desktop, but my newer laptop it worked.
I was never able to get Ren Depth to work on my Mac. And so that's why I went with Owl 3D, which isn't free, but I found Owl 3D works well. I think they're similar programs. It's just the interface is a little different.
Yeah.
I think there's one noticeable flaw. There may be others. I mean, it's pretty good overall. But the black shirted guy in the foreground, the sleeve of the guy next to him in the white t-shirt, his arm looks like it's on the same plane as the kissing guy's arm.
Yeah. Yeah, I had looked at this on Anaglyph, and I'm seeing flaws now that I didn't see on Anaglyph.
It's pretty good though.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have guessed it if you hadn't told us.
Yeah, that stuff is getting better and better. This AI 3D conversion.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to do some side-by-side tests with this and Owl and spend the 70 cents a picture for the new layer Immersity.
Yeah. Jay, I'd be very curious about to hear your evaluation comparing these conversion apps. I've just been using Immersity myself, but obviously there are more players, more options for us. And
one of the problems with Immersity is you get a fixed number of conversions per month. So some months you need a lot, and some months you don't need any. It's basically, in my opinion, overcharging you. And that's why I went with Owl 3D for all of my work.
And Immersity is a subscription, of course.
Well, Owl 3D is also a subscription, but you get an unlimited number of conversions. So basically, you're using your own GPU. You're not using the cloud. But if you pay the subscription, you can do as many conversions as you want.
Understood.
Yeah.
These are important considerations.
Yeah. And I just tried also asking the new Google Gemini to try making a 3D conversion, and it just didn't know what to do.
I did get
Well, it would say in the text, yes, I know what you want, and here's what I'm going to do, and then it wouldn't.
Yeah, it sounds like Gemini. I did get Dolly to generate some side-by-side stereo pairs, and it kind of got it, but some scenes were pseudo, some were not. I really could not control that at all. So it had an offset effect. It had kind of a stereo effect, but it was just wrong.
I think we just have to train an AI on all the stereograms we can get our hands on.
Yeah, well, chances are they're learning on our stereograms whether we want them to or not, if you're posting them somewhere.
Oh, I want them to. I mean, I publish all of mine. That's fine by me, but I doubt it's going to be enough to really, just sort of expect them to figure out how to do stereograms without somebody putting a good bit of effort into teaching it how.
So I'll give my own opinion on this, which actually there was a court case a while ago where a judge ruled that training AI on publicly available artwork is no different from training a human on the publicly available artwork. If either the human or the AI actually plagiarizes, then you have a good case of plagiarism. But if all it's doing is training itself to be a better photographer or a better artist, that seems fair.
Yeah, and same thing for textbooks. If you go to college, you pay exorbitant amounts of money for the textbooks, but you learn from them, then you should be able to go about your business as a professional using whatever it is you learn from the books. They don't owe you owe them anything more beyond paying for the textbook. So same
We
thing
probably
with
should
the
get
AI.
a long debate about this, but the textbook was written and sold by somebody for that purpose. The stuff is being taken without anybody's knowledge or approval.
Well, when you publish something
Not
in
the
a
same.
public space, I mean, that's you're saying, please come and look at my work. You don't get to put a lot of conditions on it.
When people posted it, that might not have been an issue. They say you can look at it, but didn't say you could have it.
Well,
Yeah, but you don't get to say, you don't get to learn from it. Here it is to look, but
Well,
don't look too
yeah,
closely.
I have to agree with that. You learn from everything you're exposed to. That's true.
and
Yeah,
this is a religious argument. Nobody's gonna win this. We've all expressed our opinion, and let's move on.
that's fine.
Fair enough. Well, thank you, Jay, for the conversion and the discussion, and we'll see more from Jay later in the slideshow. And incidentally, we've got more than 30 minutes left in the meeting, and we're about 2/3 of the way through. So I think we're doing fine on time. So that said, Ed, we have one by you coming up next. The title is Mrs. Dash. I think I know what this one is about.
Yeah, that's what it is. I just went through my wife's spice rack and sprinkled some Mrs. Dash on the slide. That's what that's what it looks like.
This one looks pseudo though.
Yeah, let me see if I can swap it. I had tried them both, and I thought that this was the best one. It'll swap in a few moments. Ed, what's the magnification power of your microscope? It seems like we're looking at some really fine detail here.
Yeah. People argue about that because you can't really say. When I was looking at it through the eyepiece, the lens said 100 times 100, but the frame of the picture is a section out of the, and then you blow it up on your screen. So like how much magnified is it when you're looking at it on the screen? There's no way to say, but probably what you're asking for is that the microscope setting was 100 times.
Interesting. Yeah, good point. I hadn't thought of it that way. And I guess these would have just been little specks on the microscope slide, right?
That's why I picked
what
it.
You shake
it was
out
very,
of the...
very finely ground powder. And so I tried basil, but the pieces were too big. I couldn't really get a good effect with them. So I went spilled some more stuff on the counter and found something that was a finer powder, and it looked better.
Did you use glue to secure these pieces also? Okay.
Yeah, I've been using the glue because it holds everything solidly in place. I might try water at some point in the future or other things, but using the glue sort of eliminates one variable because I know it's not going to move. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's just locked in place, and any movement that is what I did. You know what I mean?
And of course, you're physically moving the slide, right? You're tilting the slide, so there is a risk that these particles could shift.
Yes, they dislodge from their position. So then the second picture isn't really it's a different scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the transparency in these grains of whatever they are.
I don't know. They all seem to have that though. I don't know why. Even basil, these green like ground up leaves, they have this like crystal glassy looking appearance, depending on how they're angled to the light and stuff.
Could that be effect of the dark field lighting technique that you mentioned?
You're looking at literally the fourth picture I've taken with this method. So, your guess is as good as mine.
Well, I think that's what's so intriguing about this micro stereo photography. It's just so unexpected. Can't really imagine what it looks like under a microscope, and under a microscope in stereo, this gives you a whole nother view of it.
I was gonna say, everybody's talking kind of philosophically, I was just gonna mention that this is literally an impossible image because, first of all, it's microscopic. You can't see it without this artificial device. You can't, even with the microscope, this was like 20, 25, 30 frames deep that had to be merged to get it all in focus. So even with a microscope, you can't see it like this. You have to treat it, you have to process it, and then you have to do this method to get it into 3D. So it's, I mean, maybe that's why it looks so otherworldly, because it looks like nothing you could ever see in real life.
Yeah. It is a photograph, but it's not a photograph that, it's not a photograph of something that our eyes could perceive.
I wonder if it would benefit from auto alignment, because it is not horizontally aligned.
I do the auto align with
Oh yeah, because if you look at I'm looking at the stereo pair, there's quite a bit of difference, at least at the black spot center top. It's not aligned.
I think it's auto aligned.
Yeah, I double checked the alignment too. Although I didn't visually check it, I did just run it through Auto Align and Stereo Photo Maker and looked at the numbers. There could still be some discrepancies. Stereo Photo Maker's Auto Align isn't perfect. But on my Lume Pad 2, at least it is comfortable to view. I think it does look better pseudo. I have swapped the left and right views on the slideshow right now. But even that is kind of ambiguous.
I might have sent it to you in pseudo, because this now is what it looked like.
Yeah.
That green part at the bottom was the top surface closest to the viewer.
So this is probably the natural way of viewing it, as close as natural as we can get, based, of course, on the fact that this is an impossible photo, as you explained. All right, Ed, well, keep them coming. And I've got a note to myself to pull together some of Jack's micro lichen stereo photos that I think you'll enjoy. I'll get those to you. All right. Thank you, Ed. Our next photo is by Tor. This is Oakland Museum of California projection. And I can tell you this is obviously before the audience arrived. It was a nice little theater. It's kind of a shame we have to use this old silver screen. I would definitely like to upgrade that. It's looking a bit tattered. I have no idea how old it is. It's quite ancient. Perfectly good white screen behind it, but that won't work for stereo.
I like the chairs a lot.
I'm having trouble converging these.
Me too. I think it's because we're so close to those chairs. My Lume Pad is actually freaking out over this one. I can free view it.
But it's a lot of depth. I mean, maybe it's a little challenging, but
wait,
everything
I think this is pseudo.
Oh, you know what? You're right. It is pseudo. I didn't switch it back. There we go. This will make it easier.
That's better.
I always forget. All right, this will correct itself in a moment. All right, there we go. That's better. Yeah, I think Tor made an artistic choice by placing the chair backs in the image there. And it's a nice documentary photo. All right, thank you, Tor. Couldn't have done it without you. And Steve, coming up next is one by you, Hollywood Shaft.
Something that happens all the time in Hollywood, getting the shaft. This is back at the Hollywood Museum. I guess they had an elevator that they don't use as an elevator anymore, and they put some movie posters and one of these mirror balls. And I took a bunch of cha-cha pictures and found the best two for the overall effect.
You're looking up in this case, up.
Correct. Yes, looking up at the ceiling.
Old elevator shaft.
And they put some posters on the walls.
Explanation was definitely needed. I had no idea what I was looking at.
Yeah, I know.
George Themelis gave a workshop at a 3D con a couple years ago. It might have been Tucson. And the subject of the workshop was look up. And his point was if you're looking for compositions, look up. There might be one right above you, which is what Steve has captured here. And it was actually a very helpful workshop for me. I wasn't doing that, and I do that now.
It sounds like
I remember that Melinda had a picture, and I think the show you did at the Internet Archive, and it was maybe the Golden Gate Bridge, and it got a really almost like a gasp. It got a really very powerful response, and I've been looking for something, that's inspired me. I mean, I don't think I achieved that level yet, but I'm working on it.
well, you found a very nice composition for something with an unusual angle. That's creative. That could be a nice special too. Is look up or just
There
or
you
something.
go. Well, we're really coming up with the competition themes.
We're way ahead of schedule here. This is great. We've already got two of them to choose from. Okay. And yeah, that photo of Melinda's is always a crowd pleaser. And I'm trying to remember the title of it. It is
Bridge to Infinity?
Bridge to Infinity. I just pulled it up here, yeah. We're talking about a photo we're not looking at, but Melinda, it's a marvelous photo. It's always a crowd pleaser, as Steve said.
Thanks. Now, does that one have a false frame or not? I did two
does have a
versions. I
false
just don't
frame,
remember
yeah.
which that was.
Let me see if I can put it in the chat. Can I do that? Will it let me?
Don't bother.
Okay. Well, yes, look up, and that's what Steve has done. Well done, Steve. Hollywood
Thanks.
Shaft. Thank you, Steve. Our next photo is by Bob Bloomberg. Dorworth Castle Garden is the title. He's got a great sky.
Nice verticals too. Of course, the framing of the castle is That's probably the main point.
Yeah, we don't usually see compositions like this from Bob with kind of a center element and a off-center subject framed by the foreground. Oleg, I think Bob may be drawing inspiration from you. And speaking of Oleg, up next is flags and their shadows at the French market. Oleg, tell us about this one.
Well, I was, I don't know if it's obvious, but the shadows are about the same same distance from the bottom as the flags are from the top. And I thought that kind of balances the picture.
Well, it does provide kind of a middle ground like you did with your school picture. There's kind of a plane through the middle.
Yeah. That's what I was shooting for.
I think
and I had to, again, with the tripod, I just waited for the people to appear where I wanted them.
I think that yellow caution tape also adds to that middle ground effect. And I think you might lose it without that yellow caution tape.
Yeah, it needs to be where it is.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And that's kind of an unusual position for the caution tape. Did you manipulate that, Oleg?
No, it struck me right when I got to it. It's a picture, so I took it.
It's a very unusual scene. I mean, anyone can walk right under that caution tape. Yeah, very nice. Thank you, Oleg.
Thank you.
Melinda, from you, we have Friendly Wave from the Vanishing Point.
Yes, I took this yesterday in the Presidio. Some of these nice historic buildings have these long sort of corridors. They're kind of nice. And this time the long shadows into the onto the walkway kind of completed the effect. Just took a snap with the hydrogen one. It really wants a wider base though, but I zoomed in a little bit, so it helped the stereo effect. And it's just fortunate that this guy just decided to wave at me. He saw me taking a picture and gave a nice clear wave, and of course I took the picture, and that was that.
And it looks like you've put in a false frame too.
I did, yeah.
Well, great time of day with that shadow. I think that really makes the photo. Melinda, you do wonders with your Hydrogen 1, but I think last month you were considering looking at the Beam Pro. Have you thought any more about that?
Yeah, I think I'd like to think I'd like to get one. And I need to, I really should get a new cell phone too. So that would be the time to do it.
Well, the Beam Pro isn't a phone; it's just a tablet.
No, I know what I meant was it would be the right time for me to do it, because then I would not really be using the hydrogen one, or at least not that much. I don't know if I'd be using it all really.
Because you are
But
using it as your phone, right? The hydrogen one?
yeah, yes,
Ah.
but it barely works as a phone at all.
Hmm.
It's 3G and there's almost no support for that. But I mean, it has nice features. It has a nice big battery. I like that a lot. But it's just the convenience of shooting 3D, which is why I've kept it alive so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's time for new equipment all around.
You'll probably still find yourself using it as a camera. And if you're going to go out with your cameras, and if you have both, they're both light enough to carry with you. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, I could take them both, or I usually just work with what I have and kind of look for opportunities for whatever the camera is good for. So I would just put my focus into the X beam.
Yeah, I think you would take to it, and yeah, you'll make it work. I've gotten in the habit of bringing my hydrogen one with me when I intend to shoot with my pair of Sonys, just in case, because you never know what what opportunities are going to arise. Oh, thanks, Melinda.
Mm-hmm.
This photo is by me. Feeding the Fire is the title. And I really wish we could see his face. This was at a demonstration of antique machines, which is, I often find it's a good event for the cameras. And I like
the
see
photo.
the fire. There's some depth. But I'd appreciate your feedback. What do you think, Melinda?
Oh, I like it a lot. The fire is great. Exposure is wonderful. And it's a nice moment. I would just I would crop in, like pretty close to around the man, and as far left as the pile of firewood. But I think I would. I think the sides aren't really contributing that much to the image. I think you get a better composition with a bit of a square crop.
I think you're right. I think I was kind of avoiding making it a square, but that's what it has to be, because I really think the person needs to be in the center of the frame. But I have some kind of phobia about square photos or something, so I'll have to force myself to do it.
Well, just think maybe you're making a picture for an album.
Yeah.
Square images are a thing.
They are, in fact. Well, I can show you after I share stop sharing my screen. I just inherited some photo albums from my father's side of the family, and they're all square prints. I guess they were, well, I don't know what format they were, but yeah, square.
How about a special for square compositions?
Square compositions. Let me add that.
So my dad had a twin lens reflex, and that shot square photos.
I have my grandfather's twin reflex camera, and indeed, yes. And Oleg, you probably have some square medium format
All of those medium format pictures were square.
Okay.
All which pictures?
I have a bunch of medium format slides.
Medium slides. Okay.
Matt, if you wanted to avoid square, couldn't you make a vertical image, cut the sides off of this?
You know, I could, and I tried that. Everything I tried that wasn't square looked a little too cramped to me. So I think I will take Melinda's advice and go that route. Because, yeah, there's a lot of detail on the left there that can be lost.
Or leave it like it is, as Jay said, it's hip to be square.
That's right. So, 2026 specials. I've got reflections, look up, and square compositions. So, wow, we're already like a quarter of the way through the next year. All right, thanks, guys. Let's move on and hear from Jay. This is a conversion by Jay. Oblivious on Bike is the title.
Yeah, it's also a conversion. She was just there ignoring the traffic, ignoring people honking at her. And sort of not unusual for that to happen.
I'm impressed she's wearing a helmet.
Yeah, and everyone was very impressed by her high heels.
My suggestion would be to paint out her foot on the ground, so that she would be apparently pedaling no-handed as well as being oblivious.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea.
Now you're changing the whole meaning of the picture, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sasumi.
Bit of motion blur.
I think if I saw a picture like that, I would just think there's something wrong with it. I would leave it like it is. I mean, it is a really interesting picture because of the contradiction between, what she's wearing and her mode of transportation. The 3D on this one, I thought, oh, it's a simpler picture. It'll probably have a lot less trouble than the last one. It seems to have more problems than the last one. I mean, the handlebars are going too far back, and the placement of some of the stuff in the background's a little too flat.
Bicycle spokes. Yeah.
Say that again?
Bicycle spokes.
Oh yeah, I just noticed
AI
that.
has a big issue with those.
Yeah. I just got the converted His Girl Friday, and they do a really good job, except there's a guy in prison and the prison door is set way back, like it's inside the prison instead of outside of the prison. But it's tricky because it's not just it's bars going both directions, so it's a lot of calculations. But yeah, they have trouble with certain things.
Yeah, I think this one I'm going to just put in the drawer for a few years.
Try it.
It's a great picture. I find it a fascinating picture. Good subject for trying to do a conversion. Probably easier to do it by hand.
Well, Jay, if you're going to be evaluating different 3D conversion apps and services, start with these two photos. I'd be very curious to see how they do. A lot of humor in this one. This would be a good humor subject also. Well, thank you, Jay. So just a heads up, we're approaching 9 o'clock. We only have a few photos to enjoy, but then we'll do our poll. So we'll run a little bit late tonight, but overall we're doing okay. So if you can stick around a little later than 9 o'clock, that would be great. That said, let's move on to one by Steve. Deer in the Woods is the title.
Yeah, this is, I don't know if there's anything spectacular about this. This is in my neighborhood, actually. There's a few plots of land that have just trees and stuff growing on it. This is a cha-cha. Deer are so good at, the old expression of deer in the headlights of standing still and not even twitching their ears, that I had plenty of time to do not just two, I did about a dozen pictures, different angles, before the deer moved at all.
I was probably trying to figure out why you're taking so many photos.
Really. He's thinking he's overdoing it.
And talk
I don't know
about
anything about it. I don't know anything about a new Bambi movie, but it's not Disney, is it?
Too soon.
Very much not so.
we'll talk about mergers. In 3D we've got nice spacing, and in 2D it's a lot of mush. These little shrubs or trees or whatever they are that are in the foreground.
Yeah. I know you've brought that up a couple times in different pictures. I agree. In fact, I think one of the first things I noticed is how leaves, because they're all kind of the same color, tend to all just blend together in a 2D picture, and they have so much definition in a 3D picture.
Well, thank you, Steve. And
Thank
incidentally,
you.
Jay has posted a few things in the chat. Looks like we just missed a SpaceX launch that may or may not have been visible over sections of the East Bay. Let's see, there's a link here to some, looks like some 3D screens. And here's the new Bambi movie that we were alluding to. So check that out. But first, thank you, Steve. We have one more from Bob Bloomberg. Crochet Cops 3D Con is the title. I'm sure Bob could tell us all about this. He showed us a similar photo last month. And the one thing I can say about this, again, he did tell me that these are all cha-chas. So they held that pose pretty steadily while he made those two exposures.
Also, we could make them honorary deer.
Deer?
Like my picture that was just on. The deer was very good at holding still, and so are these guys.
Two cha-chas. Got it. Same genes in effect there. All right.
It's a fun moment, and it's a nice 3D composition too. Got a lot of depth.
And it's really nice light too. Nice ambient light. Low contrast.
And the very distracting background.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's a nice portrait. Bob seems to have developed great accuracy in his cha-chas. I often mistake them for stereo camera photos because they're never too extreme. All right, thanks, Bob. We'll see you next week, lightly. But let's hear from Oleg. The cemetery near Kochamo and the View West is the title.
Well, again, that was taken last January. I don't know what to say about it. I like the way it goes from foreground to background.
And it looks like it's like a terraced landscape. That's something that's not immediately recognizable in 2D for me.
Yeah, it's hard to interpret in 2D. Definitely a 3D picture.
Nice use of color too. The grave sites have the reds and the pinks and the yellows. All the rest are, you know, earth tones, greens and browns. Kind of a grayish sky. Nice contrast.
Looking at it now, I don't like the green on the left side. It's shouting too much. I have to tune it down. On the right side of the picture.
On those plots.
Yeah, those two green, whatever they are. They're too bright. They're too saturated.
Okay, well, I think it fits with the rest of the composition, but that's your call.
Well, what I hear him saying is that the edge of the image, so it's kind of drawing the eye out of the image.
I see. Good point. And is that a baby crib I see in the middle ground? Well, there's a lot to see here, obviously. Yeah, thank you, Oleg. And this is by Melinda. Fire Escape is the title.
Yeah, so this, I don't know why or when, but this particular fire escape on this building in my neighborhood kind of caught my eye, and I've gone out there a few times now to photograph it. I guess what caught my eye was the time of day and the shadows through all the lattice work of the fire escape onto itself, onto the building. And then, and as I was sort of working it and thinking about it, I came to realize that it's really about the negative space that you and Oleg had talked about before. So it's the negative space in this case is all the places that are meant for people to occupy. So sort of the spiraling staircase path going up through this thing and ultimately up that ladder at the end, or what's being contained by the fire escape itself. So it's about the volume of space here rather than about the lattice work or anything itself. and that's kind of it. I was also tempted to leave in more of the beautiful building on both sides, but the more I cropped out of that and just focused on the fire escape itself, the more interesting it got to me.
And this is also look up. You're
Definitely a
pointing the
look up.
camera
Yeah.
up. Yeah. This
I
is
think this also fits in the category of not that interesting in 2D and really interesting in 3D.
yeah, it's a great subject.
There you go. I mean, don't they always catch your eye when you're walking around among these crazy fire escapes, with these kind of Rube Goldberg contraptions, like there's this weird crank thing sticking out from the bottom, and I don't know. And you see them in the movies, and it just seems like
I've been fascinated with these things ever since it's a mad, 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 mad world.
it's just like it's a popular kind of thing in comedies for sure. Um, so I don't know. Once in a while they catch my eye, and this one definitely kept me coming back a couple of times.
You also have some great shadows going on. Great time of day.
Yeah, so it's all about the time of day. I went out there with my DSLR just the other day, but I was too late. This needed to be around 2:30 or something like that to get the sort of 45-degree angle shadows that I wanted.
Yeah, love it. What a great subject. We walk by these, we walk under these, and it's easy to ignore them or kind of forget that they're there until you photograph them, until you look up and photograph them.
Or until there's a fire.
Until you need it to save your life, right? Steve, it's a mad, 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 mad world. That was the conclusion of the movie, right? They were climbing up the fire escape, and then the fire escape fell down. Oh, you're muted. Still muted. All right, you'll figure it out. It's okay. It's not. It's not.
I got
a
it.
3D movie.
For some reason, my whole screen went dark. Yeah. Oh, interestingly, at the Hollywood Museum, they had the original model from It's a Mad, Mad World. Was that Willis O'Brien, who animated King Kong, was supervising the animation of those little figures on the not really on the fire escape. Well, they were on the fire escape. They were also on the ladder of the fire truck ladder.
Right.
But yeah, they were on the fire escape as it sort of breaks apart. It's kind of cantilevered and fascinating. Yeah, that's the climax of the film.
That would make a great 3D conversion. I can imagine.
Well, it's a long movie, so it's a lot of converting.
I would just take a couple stills. All right. Thank you, Melinda. And thank you
Oh,
all.
and one last thing I'll just
Oh,
point
yes.
out. It's almost a square image.
Oh, good point. Yeah. Yeah, I've got to get over that that hang up of mine.
And like I say, I kind of wanted to leave some of that stuff. Like you can see I don't know what you call the decoration, the breezes or whatever it's on the right. There was some of that stuff on both sides. It's all very beautiful, but it wasn't really contributing. So it took me a couple of chops to end up with this form.
Sometimes you just have to be ruthless.
Yeah, and and just experiment. You can always just click undo.
Indeed. Well, thank you, Melinda.
Thank you.
That concludes our slideshow, but we're not done. I ask that we stick around for a few minutes longer, and make our top 3 selections. I will go through the slideshow again quickly so we can reacquaint ourselves with this really a large group. 29 images, that's a big one. So let me go through these, then we'll make our selections, and then
Let
we'll
me
see the
real quick
results.
interrupt you in case if this is a
Yes.
problem that needs to be fixed now. My thing says pick your top 3, but then only lets me pick 2.
Yes. I ask, try reloading your browser or device. I had the same problem and realized that I had selected a maximum of, or 2 photos rather than 3, but I just fixed that. So it should work for you now. Let me know if it's not.
Ah, okay, yeah, it's working.
Okay. Good. Let me go through these quickly. And of course, if you're watching the live streams, there'll be a bit of a lag. The Solano Stroll promo is not part of the exhibition. We will start with Tor's Oakland Museum of California Lightbox. Vincent Life Mask by Steve. Quato Lives by Roberto. Wagon Engine After Dark by Bob Bloomberg. Zizi at the Produce Aisle in a Chilean Walmart by Oleg. Sunset Serenade by Melinda. Live Oak Park by Matt. Locomotive Engineer by Jay. Pepper by Ed. Oakland Museum of California Negative by Tor. Junk Store by Steve. Good Morning Mexico City by Roberto. Girl with Pentagon Portal, Mall of America, Minneapolis by Bob. Welcome to the Hamilton School by Oleg. Shattered Window by Melinda. Felix Gonzalez Torres, Untitled, 1995 by Matt. Rather, the photo is by Matt. TKTS Stones by Jay. Mrs. Dash by Ed. Oakland Museum of California Projection by Tor. Hollywood Shaft by Steve. Dorworth Castle Garden by Bob. Flags and Their Shadows at the French Market by Oleg. Friendly Wave from the Vanishing Point by Melinda. Feeding the Fire by Matt. Oblivious on Bike by Jay. Deer in the Woods by Steve. Crochet Cops 3D Con by Bob. Cemetery Near Kochamo and the View West by Oleg. And Fire Escape by Melinda. So let's take a few moments and make our selections. You can use the QR code if you're using a phone or tablet. There's also a URL for a browser. If you're able to participate, please do. And while we make our selections, I'll make a couple announcements. Do I have any announcements? What I have to announce is that our next meeting is next week, Tuesday, September 9th. It's our special division for September. The subject is color, and the description I have is highlight a realistic color or manipulate colors in a stereo photo creatively. Color covers a lack of color as well, including monochromatic and black and white stereo photos. That's pretty broad. I'm certainly not going to reject anything, but I look forward to seeing your color special division stereo photos next week. And if you get those to me by Monday the 8th, that would be great. Does anyone need more time to make their poll selections? Looks like everyone's made their selection. Okay. Let's take a look at the results. Let me load those up. All right. Well, thank you for making Live Oak Park one of our tying 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6 photos with 2 votes each. So I'm going to say that tonight's slideshow was largely a draw. I'm not surprised to see Tor's Oakland Museum of California negative.
I'm not sure why. I'm getting 1 with 3 votes.
Oh, really? Well, maybe I got here too early.
Try to refresh.
All right. So it looks like someone was still making their selection.
Looks like that was mine.
All right, Steve. Good thing you spoke up.
I'm the right person to mention it.
You're the one with the 3 votes. So we'll let you take away the golden trophy tonight. Well done.
It was a hard battle. I had to, coerce. I had to ask for those 11,000 votes.
And it's a great example of this look up topic, which I think we're going to be seeing more of, and we'll definitely have a special in 2026 about that. And we have quite a few 1 votes also. So I think we have a clear favorite. Well done, Steve. Tonight's group was a large group. We had 29 photos. That's an unusually large group for September. Traditionally, people tend to still be off on their Labor Day adventures for our first September meeting. So it's great to see so many photos.
Yeah, such a big field and then so few judges means
exactly
they're kind of spread out pretty far. But I think might be helped with ranked choice voting.
Agreed. Yeah, we'll get there. Well, Steve, it looks like Brian had to leave, so hopefully he will return next week and you can continue your discussion.
All right.
Before we call the meeting, if anyone has anything they'd like to share, I will share that I just received, but I have not yet watched, Frankenstein's Bloody Terror a new 3D conversion distributed by Kino Lorber that I ordered off their website. Haven't watched it yet. 1968. It's from Spain. And we'll see how it goes. What do you
So,
got there, Steve?
a question.
Yes,
Okay.
Herb.
So, a concern or a question about ordering 3D Blu-rays. Many of them are shipped from overseas, and I'm not yet sure what the impact of the tariffs are going to be. I would hate to receive, a Blu-ray and open it up, and a few days later receive a huge bill that for tariffs that are due. So anybody have any experience, comments, advice, etc.?
I'm pretty sure that the tariffs would have to be charged when you're buying it, same as when you pay a sales tax. So if you've received it, you should be in the clear.
I have heard, not regarding Blu-rays, but different stories from people who have received surprise bills.
Yeah, I think it's closer
That's
to
not
like
paid. If you get a bill and you've already received the item, I would say toss it in the trash.
It's from the U.S. government. It's not from
then you should especially toss it in the trash. The U.S. government. Have you seen the U.S. government lately?
So
I try not to look at the U.S. government.
I'm trying to hold up a Superman disc. I just bought the Fleischer Superman conversion. They did a really nice job on that, and they're on sale right now.
And I think you could get that conversion on eBay, that Fleischer Superman. I've seen that for sale on eBay.
It is on eBay. Yeah, I did the calculation. It's a little cheaper if you buy it directly from the Phil Williams, I think is his name, the guy who did the conversion. What I Pop 3D. There's a couple of different companies that there is an umbrella of these conversions.
Herb, I just received from Turbine in Germany, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and Fast and Furious 10. I think I paid about $60 for the pair, and I have not yet received any additional bills or demands for money.
That's good news.
So, if that helps.
We'll see what happens.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was very well done, good 3D. Fast and Furious 10 put me to sleep, but your mileage may vary.
Well, it's not a Blu-ray, but it's probably worth mentioning that the conversion of of the original Jaws is back in theaters, and it's of course an excellent movie, an excellent conversion, and this time it's also available in 4DX, which I saw it with Tor, and they have wind and some fog and a lot of water spray. I had to constantly clean my glasses.
I saw the 3D conversion yesterday, and I think it's the best 3D conversion I've ever seen. Very meticulous.
It's a good conversion, and especially noteworthy because it's one of the best composed films that I think I've ever seen. Due to Steven Spielberg, because I've seen Bill Butler's other films, and they're good, but not that good. He's the DP on that.
Yeah, check it out if you get a chance. I imagine it'll probably be playing in 3D through the rest of the week in the Bay Area. Rest of the world, I don't know. Definitely worth seeing.
Well, thanks, everyone. I'm going to take off.
All right, thanks, Herb. Yeah, if there's... I think we're probably ready to call the meeting. What do you say? I appreciate everyone sticking around. Great slideshow tonight. And I'll see you everyone next week. All right, guys. Talk to you later. I'll send you that stuff, Roberto. Good night, all.
Thank
Bye.
you.